There is one rule every empire believes, one truth carved into the stone of every capital from Baghdad to Damascus. You do not fear a small sect, you crush it. For centuries, that was the logic. Minor sects were footnotes, inconveniences, groups you scattered with a single decree, a single tax, a single show of force. The great powers, Seljuks, Abbasids, regional warlords, believe numbers win, fortresses win, armies win. And the Nizaris? They had none of these. They were a persecuted minority with no land, no army, no allies. They were, in the eyes of every ruler around them, a problem so small it barely deserved a solution. That was the rule. But in the year 1090, one man walked into a neglected mountain fortress in northern Persia and changed everything.
To understand what he did, you have to understand who he was. Hassan-i Sabbah was born in Qom, raised in Ray, and sharpened by the turbulence of the 11th century. By the time he was 17, he was consuming mathematics, astronomy, philosophy. By 20, he was known for a mind as sharp as the scholars of the Fatimid court. And by 30, he was a hunted man. Hassan was many things: a missionary, a strategist, a believer, a man of absolute certainty. But above all, he was a survivor in an age designed to erase people like him. The Seljuk Empire, at its height, stretched from the Hindu Kush to the Mediterranean. Their armies numbered tens of thousands, their fortresses fortified with decades of engineering, their viziers ruthless. And Hassan, he had a handful of followers. No land, no treasury, no titles, nothing but conviction and a plan so bold it bordered on madness. He saw the truth no one else dared to see. A fortress is not stone. A fortress is belief. In 1090 Persia, the Nizaris were scattered, hunted, pressured to convert or disappear. Their rivals controlled cities, courts, and armies. But Hassan saw something the empires overlooked: a mountain, a forgotten rock fortress called Alamot, a place dismissed as worthless, too remote, too small, too insignificant to matter. And yet, in that insignificance, he saw destiny. The year is 1090. You stand beside Hassan as he climbs the final steps of the mountain path, wind tearing across the ridge, the world below stretching in every direction. This is the moment he faces the impossible challenge.
Picture it, present tense, because from here, everything moves. Hassan reaches the gates of Alamot, a Seljuk-held fortress with perhaps 60 to 80 soldiers inside. The commander sees a scholar, not a threat. Hassan's followers are few, barely enough to form a single platoon. And yet, Hassan walks forward. He does not storm the walls. He does not draw a sword. He does something far more dangerous. He offers an idea the commander cannot refuse. He buys time. He gains influence. He quietly converts a portion of the garrison. A whisper here, a conversation there, a promise delivered with undeniable conviction. Week by week, the fortress's loyalty shifts. The Seljuk governor sends a messenger demanding updates. The commander claims everything is fine. He believes he is still in control. He is wrong. By midsummer, Hassan controls half the garrison. By autumn, nearly all. And then comes the moment that rewrites the rule. Hassan orders the gates sealed. He sends word to the Seljuk governor. Alamot no longer answers to you. The Seljuks rage. They order the fortress retaken. But when their army arrives, something is wrong. They see the cliffs, the narrow path, the impossible incline, and they understand. This position is unassailable by conventional siege. They try anyway. For 3 days, their archers fire from the opposite slope. Arrows rain like iron hail. For 3 nights, they attempt to ascend the cliffs under moonlight, but the rocks betray them. Loose stone, black ice, narrow ledges that drop thousands of feet. Their soldiers fall like pebbles into the abyss. Inside the fortress, Hassan moves with precision. He reorganizes the garrison. He sets up training. He fortifies hidden gardens within the mountain. He builds reservoirs. He establishes a library. Every hour, he turns a ruined rock into a self-sustaining citadel. And here is the countdown. Day 1. Seljuk archers fire from the opposite slope. Arrows rain like iron hail. Day 2. Supplies are expected to falter. They don't. The Seljuks don't know about the hidden terraces inside the mountain. Day 3. The Seljuk commander orders a full ascent. 50 men climb. 40 fall before reaching the halfway point. 10 make it to the ledge. None reach the gate. Day 4. Scouts report something unprecedented. The fortress is holding without showing signs of weakness. No smoke of burning supplies. No cries of hunger. No desperation. Day 5. The Seljuks withdraw in confusion, leaving only spies and informants behind. And here is the revelation that breaks an empire. Hassan doesn't need an army to win. He only needs faith, strategy, and time. His presence alone becomes a weapon. His followers train in silence. They move with precision. They memorize paths through valleys and mountain shadows. They learn to infiltrate, not invade. By 1092, the Seljuks realize the scale of their failure. A persecuted sect, written off, dismissed, ignored, now controls a fortress so strategically placed that a single unit can influence an entire region. It is at this moment that the enemy's arrogance breaks. And if you find this kind of forgotten history as fascinating as we do, we'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button. We believe these stories of courage, resilience, and genius deserve to be told. And by subscribing, you help ensure they aren't forgotten. From Alamot, Hassan directs operations with surgical precision. Seljuk governors fall, plots collapse, armies pause before marching through certain valleys, because no commander wants to be the next name whispered in the night. The Seljuks send another force, larger, better supplied, hundreds of men, siege equipment, engineers. But Alamot stands, not because of walls, but because the men inside believe in something unbreakable. And for the first time, the empire realizes this is not a nuisance. This is a nation being born. What they didn't know was how far the shock waves would travel. Within a decade, Seljuk viziers shift their travel routes. Commanders refuse to sleep in the same place 2 nights in a row. Emirs increase their bodyguards tenfold. Crusader princes, hearing rumors from the east, rethink alliances. Fatimid power brokers panic at the spreading influence.
The rise of Alamot ripples into every palace and council chamber. Assassinations of key figures change the balance of power. Governors are replaced. Wars delayed. Alliances broken. Cities flip allegiance not through armies, but through whisper and precision. By 1100, Hassan's new state exists not by size, but by influence, not by territory, but by reach. Alamot becomes the center of a network that stretches across Persia, Syria, Mesopotamia. A fortress nation without borders. A power built not on numbers, but on decisions. And the military world begins to study it, quietly, nervously, fearfully. Because Hassan proved something terrifying. You cannot crush what refuses to fight on your terms.
Hassan-i Sabbah remained in Alamot for the rest of his life. He died in 1124 at roughly 70 years old, having never left the fortress after capturing it. He wrote, he trained, he governed with discipline so strict that he executed his own sons for violating the rules he imposed on all. His followers, the early Nizaris, came from villages, towns, markets, and mountains. They were not soldiers by birth. They were believers forged by persecution. Many died unnamed. Many died young, but their legacy shaped empires for nearly 2 centuries. To this day, historians debate how a persecuted minority outsmarted the greatest powers of their age, how a single fortress became a political earthquake, how one man's conviction bent history. And that is why this story matters now, because it proves that strategy, belief, and willpower can redraw maps, that empires fall, but ideas, if held strongly enough, endure. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing these forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or country and tell us which chapter of Alamot's history you want next. Thank you for ensuring that Hassan-i Sabbah and the early defenders of Alamot do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered.